Chinese, Japanese, and Korean. 3 languages renowned for having fascinating ancient history, delicious cuisine, futuristic cities, and insanely hard languages to learn. And one common thing a lot of people mistake is that these 3 languages are very similar to each other. However, this cannot be further than the truth. Even if they do look like images or just a load of lines in boxes, that is not the case whatsoever. And in today's video, I will put the line straight of which is which and how to tell. First of all, Chinese. A Sino-Tibetan language and by over 1 billion people, mostly in China, known as one of the hardest languages in the world. Well known for its pictographic system of characters, known as Hanzi. There being 2 varieties. Simplified, used for the most casual texts, mostly used in mainland China, and traditional, used for more traditional and cultural purposes, used in Taiwan. Each of these characters are composed of a consonant, a vowel, a nasal sound, and a tone, with there being 4 to 5 tones, defining the word differently based on which tone to use, with mess-ups being particularly very weird. Even if this tonal system is very complicated for a lot of starters to Chinese, the grammar is not. Chinese word order is very similar to English with an SVO order, as well as there being no declensions, and even a lot of basic stuff like, for example, plurals, articles, cases, conjugation, genders, are lots of things that make European languages very hard to learn. So in a sense or another, Chinese has very simple grammar. And if you can look past most of these things, you will learn Chinese. One way to recognize it from the others is that it has the more sort of stereotypical of a Asiatic language. With a more high-pitched, very rhythmy and flowy sort of way of speaking. Like for example,
只有我守着安静的沙漠。
Next we have Korean, a language spoken by 80 million people, most on the Korean Peninsula, and known for being the sort of gateway from Chinese to Japanese. The reason why I say this is that it does have a more sort of way of writing to Chinese. The reason why I say this is because Korean used to be written in the Chinese alphabet for a long time. However, in 1446, because of it being very hard to write, Sejong, the 4th king of the Choson dynasty, decided to replace it with a new alphabet called Hangul, an alphabet of 24 letters you put into 1 to 4 letter blocks to create sentences. However, even if this writing system is very logical of how it looks and how it sounds, the grammar is not. There are actually a lot of theories that Korean and Japanese are actually related to the Turkic languages, like Turkish, Azerbaijani, or Kazakh in some way, with them being both agglutinative languages, having both a SOV order, and having quite high levels of declension, unlike Chinese, and as well as having particles, a lot of complicated ways of conjugating verbs, especially with politeness levels, which are highly seen as very important in both languages. And the thing which really makes Korean a bit easier is that there's no tones. But however, some very complicated differences between certain sounds, which can be sort of a challenge to learn. One way to know if it is Korean or not is if it has a very sort of flat way of speaking, like in the audio that we have here.
한국어를 다시 좀 공부해봐야 되는.
나 진짜 읽을 때 너무 천천히 읽어.
읽을 때 천천히가 아니라 지금 다 틀렸어.
Finally, we have Japanese, a language spoken by 120 million people belonging to the Japonic language family. The grammar I've already mentioned earlier, with it being a very agglutinative, declension-based, particle-based. However, the way it is spoken is very different to how it is in Chinese or Korean. Japanese is a syllabary language, with each syllabary having at least 1 or no consonant and 1 to 2 vowels, kanji being entire words, with them composing the entire 3 alphabets that Japanese has. Hiragana, which is used for native Japanese words, katakana, used for loan words, and kanji, which are basically a sort of Chinese-based character system. Mixed and muddled in sentences to create the sort of complex, yet not complex, writing system of Japanese that we know today. And one way to tell if it is Japanese or not, if it has these syllabaries, if it has a sort of syllabary sound, and also pitch accent, with certain syllabaries being higher and pronounced more stressed than others, as seen in the audio here.
私の名は吉良義景、年齢33歳。自宅は森王町北東部の別荘地帯にあり、結婚はしていない。
So yeah, now you know which language is which. Even if I am not Asian myself, I can at least understand the differences between these languages, which are easily confused for one another, even if they are very, very different from each other, as you see in this video. If you are a speaker of Chinese, Japanese, or Korean, did I leave anything out? Please send in the comments below. I'd love to learn more about these languages. I am also currently learning Chinese at the moment, so if you want to speak a bit of Chinese with me, I'll be down to it. If you have enjoyed this video, please remember to like, share it, if you want to spread the knowledge, and also subscribe for more videos like this. Or if you're unsure of that, remember to check out this video here if you want to watch more stuff from me. Trust me, you won't regret it.